What's up everyone? My name's Brenner. Welcome to my channel. This is Mr. Liquor Sipper, and today we're gonna be going over a little review over a little something called Basil Haydens. If you're not familiar with it, we're about to get familiar with it. Stay tuned. Let's find out, is it worth even cracking the bottle? Alright guys, as always, thanks for hitting up my channel, Mr. Liquor Sipper. If you haven't yet, or if you come here in the past and you like this content, don't forget to hit that like button, smash that like button, sip on that like button, and also hit that subscribe button. Basil Haydens is a bourbon. It's one of those bourbons that is comprised of Jim Beam's small batch bourbon collection. The others are Knob Creek, Baker's Bourbon, Booker's Bourbon. Basil Haydens, it kind of like falls under the first line proof wise, as far as like it's an 80 proof. All right, so while they have other 3 bourbons in that small batch collection, they share basically the same mash bill, which is 77% corn, 13% rye, and then 10% malted barley. Now Basil Haydens is, man, I just bit the inside of my cheek. Ugh. Basil Haydens, it's created using Jim Beam's high rye mash bill. It's also found in Old Grain Dad and Old Grain Dad 114. Basil Haydens named after the late master distiller Basil Haydens Sr., who is known for his use of high rye bourbon mash bills. So that's kind of along the lines of something that you can expect as far as when you're looking at palate wise and the taste. It's going to be more along the lines of a rye side. Alright, so Basil Haydens is classified as a straight bourbon. It's distilled from Jim Beam, as we just discussed. It is an 80 proof. Now this particular mash bill is 63% corn, 27% rye, and then 10% malted barley. As far as price, you're looking at a price of about 45 bucks, all right? And again, it's always dependent on where you're at, so between 40 to 50 bucks you're looking at. Now it does have something on here. It says a little bit of a description or synopsis. It says that this is Basil Haydens Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. When Basil Haydens Sr. began distilling his smooth bourbon here in 1796, Kentucky was but 4 years old and George Washington was the President of the United States. So it says, today we make Basil Haydens Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey using the same skill and care that made it a favorite among America's frontier settlers. So that's kind of a cool little thing. I think it's cool. This bottle by itself is, I would say it's distinguished. It has like almost like a old school paper type deal, like something was written on here, or like a scroll type deal. It's pretty cool. It has like a copper, well, at least for the lighting for me, I think this is actually silver, but it has a copper piece that says BH on here for Basil Haydens, kind of inscription. So it definitely does differentiates itself. It stands out from the rest of a typical bottle that's just kind of like, and no offense to Old Forester, I'm a big fan of Old Forester, and matter of fact, I'm actually drinking Old Forester 1920 right here. So nothing against Old Forester, but you can definitely see the difference in bottle, and kind of, though the shape is similar, this one definitely stands out. Price points very similar on each of these. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna pop the cap, whatever, on this, and you know, lately I've been having a few little issues opening these bottles, so I got my trusty Gerber here, so in case we run into any issues. So first things first, I'm gonna take a sip of this 1920. I'm giving myself a little preparation there, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna crack this guy open, because everything we do on this channel is for the first time, but depending on how good it is, it won't be the last time. All right, so this one is definitely a lot nicer than the last review that we did over what was that, Old Tub? Man, that cap was something else trying to get that thing off. Jiminy. All right, let's pour a little bit. All right. I feel comfortable with that amount, because after I do this sip test, then I can go home. Don't drink and drive, children. All right, unless you're driving a tricycle or bicycle. No mopeds. All right, So we all know what we're sniffing and tasting. I always put it right out here front and center so you guys have an idea of what the bottle actually looks like, and if anything else, I put that little B-roll in there so you guys can see. Let's go ahead and aerate this thing a little bit, get some air in here. I'm just learning how to kind of twirl this thing without making a mess, so just bear with me. All right, so get some air in here. Let's get a little snifferoo. Nosing for newbies. So straight from the first smell, I get a scent of grandma's ashtray mixed with mothballs and 3 different old lady perfumes. I also get notes of mozzarella string cheese and expired dollar store Christmas candles. I really get hit right here with a strong holiday fling with pine scented KY and maple flavored edible underwear that were put on backwards. Oh, okay. And also, I get some hints of Jason Voorhees mask after a nasty hangover and the dry foreskin of Freddy Krueger. And we know he got burnt up, right? So that's super gnarly. So, without further ado, let's go on to the real smell, the real scent. Let's see what we got. And to me, right off the top, I actually get some peaches. I get a little bit of the berry action. I get some oak, like I had just climbed the tree like Tarzan. I get a little bit of zestfully clean, like not really like the soap, but it has like that zesty in that nature. Kind of like an orange on that back end. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna hit this 80 proof and see how good it tastes. Okay, on the palate. Hold on. All right, on the palate, interesting. Okay, so it coats the mouth pretty quick. It also dissipates pretty quick. Like it's there and it's gone. You get some light peach elements in there, especially towards the end. I taste the peach. There's definitely some vanilla, and though it is subdued, you could definitely tell that this is an 80 proof. Well, this is one of those things where you potentially put a little bit of water in it, or you let the ice kind of like soak in it or melt away into a whiskey that's been slightly watered down, is kind of the taste that I'm getting from this. It is super smooth on that note. Now, there's the slightest bit of burn, like as if you were just getting over the chlamydia or something like that, or like a urinary tract infection. It's there and gone. The burn is so quick, you barely notice it. Shout out to my brother Brian. He's the one that told me to check out this Basil Haydens. He himself is also into whiskey, so a lot of times I'll turn to him and say, hey, you know what do you think about this? Or he'll shoot me a text message of a picture of something that he just got. So for any of you out there that think that you got something that you haven't tasted that you're interested in, that you just kind of, I don't know if I want to spend the money on that, or maybe the price point for you personally, it may be a little bit too high, let me know down in the comments and I'll go ahead and attack that for you and let you know, is it even worth spending that money on? Anything that you guys want to know about, please hit the comments, let me know. Also, don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's do this journey together. Until next time, keep sipping.